Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. All right. So we're trying this in the Rumble studio. So let's see if it works, shall we? So we'll get, just give it a sec. Let's see if everything catches up. But I'm going to be talking about welcome to the Banana Republic. That is the United States of America. That's the topic of the day. And let's see. Looks like we got someone in Rumble. Let's see if YouTube is live. Still trying to learn how all this stuff works, and to find out if you can actually hear me. So if you can hear me, do me a favor, let me know in the chat. My goodness. Okay. Well, there we go. So let's see if we are live. Looks like we're live on Rumble. We are. Do a quick little refresh, and then we'll get going. And I just need to find out if you can hear me. Okay. I guess if you can't hear me, you'll let me know that too. So either way, we'll know. Okay, there's the link. Let me mute this, and then we'll get going. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right, I'm live on X as well. So that seems to be working. Cool. All right, so let's get to it. Living. Mute. Okay, yeah, there we go. Living in a Banana Republic. Okay. This is exciting. You can hear me. Audio is good. Excellent. Thank you, Ox. Thanks for Natasha for helping me out. You're on different platforms, but I can see both of you. So thanks. Thanks for joining me. I guess let me hit the bumper and let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Strap in. We got a lot to unpack today because here in America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, and now the proud owner of a shiny new title, Banana Republic. And I'm not talking about delicious tropical fruit. No, the Banana Republic, where the only product we're exporting is Democrat corruption. Yeah. Oh, folks, it's a sad day in America. Donald Trump, former president of the United States, like I got to tell you who he is, right? He's been convicted of 34 felony counts. You heard me right. 34 counts of falsifying business records over some hush money payment to a pretty lady. Now, I'm not saying Trump's an angel. Far from it, but come on. This is what brings down a former president? Not wars, not CIA coups, not drone strikes on weddings. No. A bookkeeping error from a $130,000 NDA. You can't make this shit up. Elon Musk, our modern day Tony Stark, chimed in saying, this is bad news for all Americans. And you know what? He's right. When the legal system is twisted by politics, everyone's at risk. And today, we're not seeing the scales of justice tipped. We're seeing them smashed, repainted in partisan colors, and paraded down Main Street. But here's the kicker. Some folks are celebrating. Yeah, they're popping champagne, patting themselves on the back, saying, we did it. We got him. Normies, the everyday folks who are convinced that this is a victory for justice, bless their hearts. They're showing themselves to be the most naive people to ever walk the planet. They genuinely believe this is justice, about holding the powerful accountable. Meanwhile, the puppet masters are laughing all the way to the bank. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Trump's old rival turned cheerleader, hit the nail on the head. He called out the leftist prosecutor, the partisan judge, and the jury from one of the most liberal enclaves in America, all working together in this kangaroo court to get Trump. He's right, folks. If this can happen to a former president, it can happen to any of us. Today, it's Trump. Tomorrow, could be you or me. Musk even said the American people as a whole should decide who's president. Now, how's that a radical idea? Letting voters decide elections instead of lawyers and judges? But hey, what do I know? I'm just some idiot talking into a camera on a live stream. So here we are, America. A nation divided, a legal system weaponized, and a public that's either blissfully ignorant or willfully blind. We got to work. We got a lot of work to do to fix this mess. Because right now, this banana republic isn't looking so appealing. It's looking rotten to the core. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. I've got my Don't Mess with Texas mug today. It seemed appropriate. Should be Don't Mess with America. This is my dystopian background that I made. I don't know. You can't really see the fire over behind the, the little graphic here with the Banana Republic. Made that with AI. Kind of fun. But this is crazy. This is actually crazy. So if you're not familiar, Banana Republic, while it is a place to go buy clothes, the outlet mall or wherever the Banana Republic is for you, it used to be in malls, but who goes to malls anymore? Anyway, a Banana Republic is a derogatory term used to describe a politically unstable country that is heavily dependent on a single export commodity, such as bananas. Often characterized by corruption, dictatorial rule, exploitation by foreign corporations. The term, not sure what happened there. Someone's tapped into my my screens here on the back. It's cutting in and out. The term originally was coined referring to Central American countries where foreign banana companies exerted significant influence over local governments. And today, it broadly implies a nation with rampant corruption, weak institutions, and governance that serves the interests of a small elite rather than the population at large. So what's happened here with Trump being convicted, right? We are seeing over and over and over again that, they're so excited. They're so excited about being able to say he's a convicted felon. Let me see if I can load this clip. Let's try playing this little, this brief clip here.
Harvard Law School professor emeritus and author of the book Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law, Professor Alan Dershowitz joins me by phone. Good evening, sir.
Hi,
the verdict.
I predicted it, of course, in my book Get Trump, and now I'm going to predict that the first thing Trump does is fire his lawyers, which he should have done before the trial rather than after the trial. His lawyers did not do a good job. And what worries me as an appellate lawyer is that they didn't do a good job preserving the record for appeal. They focused exclusively on the trial, which is what many trial lawyers erroneously do. You know that because you and I met over an appeal many, many years ago, which we both won.
Well, enough of that. It just goes on and on and on and on. I'm not sure that was the right clip. Anyway, I'm trying this Rumble Studio thing, and it's new, and I think I loaded up the wrong one. But basically, I wanted to play a montage of the media just saying that he is a convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon. That was the wrong clip. Good job, Tom. But that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get to the point where they could just refer to him as a convicted felon, and they got that. And I have talked about this. I don't know if you remember, if you were around when I talked about this. I've talked about this a number of times, a long time ago, actually, about the tradition in America that you don't arrest the previous president. You just don't do that. And the reason you don't do it is not because they don't deserve to be arrested, okay? Because maybe they do. But then you're just going to set off dominoes that are going to make it so that you cannot leave power, because if you leave power, they're going to arrest you, okay? I do kind of get the feeling that Joe Biden feels like he can't leave. He can't even let anyone else run, because if he does, he's in trouble, right? He's going to prison. But the thing is, when Trump came in, believe me, with the emails and everything that Hillary Clinton did, there are plenty of reasons that she should be in prison, right? But he let it go for the good of the country. You let that go, because otherwise, who's going to believe an election? How can you believe an election, even though they're all totally legitimate and there's never been one vote that has been wrong? Okay. Make sure I said that. Just covering my bases here. But how could you believe an election if you know that the people in power, if they lose, they go to prison? No one would believe that. All trust in the institution is thrown out now. This is a horrible precedent set. I expect that whoever the next president is, if Trump wins, and if they let him win, and if the if the count is legitimate or whatever, he's got plenty of reason to put, I don't know, at least 100 top Democrats in prison. Okay. There's a good reason that you don't do this, right? We have this unwritten tradition of refraining from prosecuting former presidents. This tradition is rooted in the desire to maintain political stability, avoid setting precedents that could lead to politically motivated retribution. And now, honestly, I feel like retribution. By avoiding the prosecution of former leaders, the country aims to preserve the integrity of democratic institutions and promote a peaceful transfer of power, right? We've heard about that. This practice has been seen as a way to ensure that political rivals do not extend into political vendettas, which could undermine public trust in the justice system and create a cycle of retaliation that destabilizes governance. Instead, former presidents have often been allowed to retire quietly from public life, their legacies judged by history rather than the courts. However, this tradition is not codified by law, and there have been increasingly debates about it. The recent conviction of Trump makes a significant departure from this historical norm, raising questions about the balance between legal accountability and political stability. So this is not good, folks. This is really, really not good. With the tradition of not prosecuting former presidents seemingly being set aside, the scope for legal accountability broadens. And just let's play out this example. Here's a list of potential crimes that former presidents could be charged with. Easily. Obstruction of justice, right? That's interfering with, obstructing legal investigations, judicial proceedings. They can pretty much all be charged with that. Perjury, lying under oath during testimonies or depositions, campaign finance violations. Oh yeah, illegally accepting and misreporting campaign contributions or expenditures. As an example, right, the Clinton campaign, the DNC paid for the Steele dossier, and they did the same thing. They listed it as a legal expense, the exact same thing that Trump was charged with. The exact same thing. Tax evasion, Why does the Biden family have so many dozens of shell companies set up. They don't actually have a business, but they've got dozens of shell companies. I wonder if they're avoiding paying any taxes. Embezzlement, misappropriating funds for political campaigns, charities, bribery, accepting and offering bribes in exchange for political favors or influence. Heck, talk about what did Biden say to Ukraine, right? The cause for that very good phone call that got Trump impeached, right? He said, get a new prosecutor or you don't get the money. He said this on camera. Fraud, engaging in deceptive practices, conspiracy, engaging in conspiracies to commit criminal acts, including collusion with foreign entities. Yeah, I would say the majority of our ex-presidents could have done all of these things. Abuse of power, misusing presidential authority for personal gain or to harm political opponents. Well, we see that happening right now today. Violation of the emoluments clause, receiving gifts or benefits from foreign states without congressional consent. War crimes, this is the big one. Authorizing or overseeing actions that violate international law or war, such as torture, illegal drone strikes, human rights violations. The list goes on and on. Espionage, illegally sharing or mishandling classified information. Who's done that recently? Illegal surveillance, authorizing or conducting unauthorized surveillance of American citizens or foreign nationals. That's happening right now. Obstruction of Congress, interfering with the legislative process or failing to comply with congressional subpoenas. This list is not exhaustive, but highlights the range of potential legal issues former presidents could face in a landscape where they're no longer insulated from prosecution. So I just want to give you a little speculative list of potential crimes that critics might argue President Barack Obama could face based on controversies during his administration, right? So I'm not talking about Biden, right? Let's just say, what about the former president before Trump? Obama. Now, this list is purely hypothetical and not indicative of actual guilt or legal action, right? We're just playing pretend here. But how about the drone strikes? Potential charges related to the authorization of drone strikes that resulted in civilian casualties, possibly framed as war crimes or violation of international law. Oh, he did that. Surveillance and privacy violations, charges related to the expansion of NSA's surveillance programs, potentially including illegal surveillance of American citizens and foreign leaders. He did that. Operation Fast and Furious, charges related to the failed gun walking operation conducted by the ATF, where firearms ended up in the hands of criminals and were used in crimes, including the death of a U.S. Border Patrol agent. Oh, yeah, that happened. What about the Benghazi attack? Possible charges related to the handling of the 2012 Benghazi attack, including accusations of negligence or obstruction of justice in the aftermath of the attack. Obstruction of Congress, charges related to allegations of obstructing congressional investigations, such as during the investigation into the IRS targeting scandals or other inquiries. Misuse of executive power. How about charges regarding the use of executive orders and executive actions that critics argued overstepped constitutional boundaries? He did all of those things. How about violation of the War Powers Resolution? Oh, yeah, Obama did that. Charges related to military action taken without explicit congressional authorization, such as intervention in Libya. Okay, this is all right out in the open. How about the Solyndra scandal? Charges connected to the alleged misuse of federal funds in a loan guarantee program that supported a failed solar company, Solyndra. Immigration policy, charges related to the implementation of DACA program without congressional approval, which some argue was an overreach of executive authority? What about the Iran nuclear deal? Allegations that the payment of $1.7 billion to Iran as part of a nuclear deal that was an illegal ransom payment. Okay, now it's important to note that these potential charges are just based on controversies and criticisms that have emerged during Obama's presidency and just the ones that I could think of off the top of my head. Okay, no legal action or formal accusations have been made because we used to live in a country where we let the last guy just retire and go off into the sunset. Because any of these charges would be highly contentious and totally politically charged. But I just laid out for you a whole list of actually really bad things that Obama did. Totally illegal. In my opinion, should be in prison. But I do think that it's right that we let the last leader just go off into the sunset, because this is going to turn everything into chaos. And if you have the belief, if you are a U.S. official that's currently in power, and you know that you could be heading to prison depending on the outcome of the election, do you think that you are incentivized to maybe put your finger on the scale in that election? I'm just saying, that's what the incentives show. And so in this case, I think that this is absolutely the worst thing for the country. We live in a banana republic. We probably have since 64. But now they're not even trying to hide it. And so because of that, I guess here's the other story that I want to talk about today. Because of this, you know, I've always, this is a failing channel, right? It hasn't been doing that great. I don't have a whole lot of people watching me. It is what it is. I know that it is hidden. I know that you can't find it in the search. I know you can Google exact titles of my videos and they don't show up, even though Google owns YouTube. Okay, so I know I'm hidden. My whole idea with this channel from the get-go was to be nuanced, right? I came up with the name Coffee and Nuance because my last name is Coffee, right? And I wanted to have a nuanced discussion about things. But I think nuance is dead now with this, charging a former president. Look, every former president in my lifetime could be charged with war crimes, just right off the bat. But we don't do that. We need to have a peaceful transfer of power. Okay, and I know that some Democrats think that there wasn't a peaceful transfer of power last time, but guess what? Trump left and Biden took over, right? So, like, it was a peaceful transfer of power. But this really, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not exaggerating. This is probably one of the worst things that could ever happen to this country. I see it as an attack on the country greater than 9/11. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So since that's the case, I got to redo this channel. There's no time for nuance anymore. I got to come up with some new shtick. I'm thinking, we just go straight politics through the summer and see if we can get some traction, see if we can get some views. One thing that I am looking forward to is that if you are watching on Rumble on this Rumble Studio has a new thing that I could actually do a live read and read an ad if I have at least 10 people watching live. If I got 10 people watching live, I could do a live read, and that would be really cool. So I'm looking up right now, and we got 9. Oh, so I can't do it because we don't. Oh, now we got 11. So maybe we can. Let's see if I can do this. And there's a script, and look here. And I'm going to go for this. So hang on, because this is really cool. This is going to be, you're going to be able to witness the first live read that I've ever done. So let's see, instructions. When you read the URL at the end, please remember to voice that there is a dash or hyphen. Okay, I can do that. And here's the script. Okay, that's not much of a script. This should probably only take me 20 seconds. So hang on, everybody. This is going to be fun. Okay, so let's start this. Okay, here we go. And you're going to help me get a couple pennies here. So let's try this out. Okay. Okay, so ever feel, and this is a live read for everyone. Here we go. Ever feel like your IT bill is a ticking time bomb? Hidden charges, out of scope surprises. It's enough to make any business owner lose their mind. We're the managed service provider that says no to billing nightmares. No more unexpected fees, no more gotcha invoices, just straightforward flat rate pricing for all the IT support you need. We're talking unlimited help desk support, 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring, network planning that actually makes sense, and expertise that runs deeper than the Mariana Trench when it comes to Microsoft products. We keep your system running smoothly, protect you from the digital bad guys, and help your business grow. And the best part, you know exactly what you're paying every single month. No fine print, no nasty surprises. So if you're tired of being nickel and dimed by your IT provider, it's time to switch to the clear, simple choice, RX-IT. We're the cure for IT billing headaches. IT peace of mind guaranteed. Visit www.rx-it.com. Okay, how about that? Cool. I might have just made a buck. Very awesome. Thanks everyone for sticking around while I went through that for that live read. That was kind of fun. So now that's something that I can do on Rumble through Rumble Studio. If we got a big enough crowd, I can do some little live reads, and it might actually pay for my coffee. That would be the joy of joy if I could do a show and make enough to pay for the coffee. We're not getting rich here, folks. But anyway, so yeah, I've got to figure out this weekend what I'm going to do, but I think the show is going to change based on all of the madness and chaos that's happening in the country. I wanted to have a nice civil show where I, tried to explain with a little nuance what was going on in the world, but I don't know. I'm blown away by what is happening right now, and I think I gotta switch things up. So thanks for that. Let's go through some of the comments. And I don't know how to put the comments on the screen just yet with the Rumble Studio, but I will. I'm going to work on that this weekend. Audio's good. Nice. Thanks for Ox and Natasha letting me know that the audio was good at the start of this. Hey, what's up, Joe? One poll source I have seen, April 15th, Trump +1, and then May 16th, Trump +8, now Trump +18. Yet you are going to see a number of BS polls starting to come out because they've got to make the polls sound close. Honestly, I think it's too big to rig. And we know that there is no rigging at all with our elections. They are the one thing in the United States that is 100% on the up and up. We all know that. Cheers. What's up, Rev68? Hashtag Rumble Gang. Let's see. What else is on your... And I'll figure out how to put the chat on the screen. Maybe the president should go to prison for all the wars. I understand they may motivate them to stay in power, like what happens in other countries. Yeah, that's what makes that's how you make a dictator, right? If you make it so that if you leave office, you go to prison, then people were never going to want to leave office, right? I mean, that's just basic common sense. Rev68 says, you definitely don't set up shell companies to launder money. That is true. Shell companies are not for laundering money at all. I always thought what would be a funny business to have would be like money laundromats. So you could have like a laundromat and have it be a money laundering themed laundromat. I don't know. It's kind of funny. That's a great way to dissolve 3-letter agencies. Yeah, you don't even need it anymore, right? You're doing a bad job trying to convince me that holding politicians legally accountable is somehow a bad thing. I know. I get it. Doug says the country is run by criminals. That's what it looks like to me. No, basically, you can't have a system where the last guy goes to prison, because if you have that system, then no one is ever going to leave office. And there'd be no way that you can trust the vote. Part of the whole, I don't know, scheme of the United States is we've got this system in place that we kind of believe that we have this representative democracy, right? That's we have to believe that the people there are representing us. And if that's not the case, the whole thing falls apart. News with coffee, perhaps. So in the comments there on Rumble, you can go to RX-IT to learn more about how it works. Save time and money on your business. So there we go. That was cool. That was fun to do a live read. So thank you for allowing me to do that. That was kind of cool. Coffee in your face. Yeah, we can get some new branding. Be prepared for history being made by Tom. Okay, I like that. Huge turning point in a channel witnessed live. Yeah, it is coffee and sarcasm, perhaps. Stay safe on the automated bots. Okay, we'll try that. Doug says their only option at this point is to jail Trump, which will happen come July 11th. Yeah, it is. It's hard to even have instincts about this because this is so unprecedented. We can't really go back into history to say, well, this is kind of how things happen. This has never happened before. But they look so desperate that I do think I might be leaning toward they're actually going to jail him. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to jail him. July 11th, that's July 15th is the start of the Republican National Committee's convention. So I think they want to put him in jail before the convention. I think utter chaos if that's what happens. But I don't think the people running the DNC, I don't think the people running the Biden campaign are connected to reality anymore. You've seen some wise Democratic people like James Carville or Axelrod who have had a lot of influence over the Democratic Party in years past, saying, "What the hell are you doing? Like, your messaging is terrible. Well, you're not listening to anybody." So I don't know what's going on. I don't think James Carville knows what's going on. I don't think Axelrod knows what's going on with the Democrats. They don't seem to be listening to anybody that knows how to win. So that's crazy. Joe says, if you have a system where the last guy is not accountable for their actions, is there nothing that they can't get away with? That's true. That's true, but that's one of the things that we have to accept, right? That's one of the things that we have to accept, that every president is going to do some stuff they shouldn't do. But if they were actually held accountable for all their actions, especially the illegal wars, right? I mean, just think about like weapons of mass destruction, lying to the world to start a war. Okay. Well, you should probably go to prison for that. But if you allow them to just retire and go off into peace, then at least you can have an election that you can maybe believe. Okay. Hey, what's up, Gonzo? Glad you just dropped on. Longborough hit me up with a tip. I appreciate that. Coffee and Fire. I enjoyed the first live read. Well, thank you for helping me out with the first live read. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. I think this is the angle that we're going to go with the show. I think I'm just going to do politics, kind of more charged politics, and if we can get enough people watching live on Rumble, I guess we won't have to worry about YouTube, because I can do some live reads. I feel like they just lost New York. If they jail him, California might go and play, and maybe I am all hopped up on copium. Yeah, copium is, of course, what you take to cope. I love that expression. Natasha says, I think they'll jail him. Then the East Coast could get bombed, and 20 million people bite the dust, and then just based on the dream of another guy I listen to. Terrible, terrible. Gonzo says, when they stole... can't say that. When something happened in the past, the Republicans kept all their false hope for correcting it. If they jail him, I can see the same thing happening. I agree. Joe says, I think you can do it. The requirement is the need of the majority of the populace to have net positive feelings toward the judicial system. Yeah, the way that this whole system works is you have to have enough people to believe in it. There's always going to be people that don't, right? But you need enough people to buy in. And by jailing the former president in what is obviously a political prosecution, you're going to get a whole lot more people that don't believe in it, and that's very dangerous for our country. It's a very sad day. Also, some other news that happened that you might not have heard about, but apparently, Biden told Ukraine, "Hey, go ahead, use American missiles and munitions, and you can just shoot them into Russia and hit Russian cities with it." Yeah, that also happened yesterday. Crazy, absolutely crazy that it's like these people want the end of the world. And that's something to keep in mind. If you keep getting the same outcome, that is the purpose of it, okay? If you are doing things to cause more war, you want more war. That's the way it is. And I think it would be terrible if Ukraine starts using American weapons launched at Russian cities. I can't think of anything worse. If you are the type that believes all the media and you think that Putin is this insane madman, that's World War III. That's Armageddon. That's the end of civilization. Right now, I don't believe that. I believe Putin to be one of the most brilliant. It's not a positive or negative. That's just a descriptor. Political genius in my lifetime. I don't think he wants the end of the world. I don't think he will launch nukes if American missiles are shot at his country. At least I pray not, right? Yikes. So anyway, so that's what I got to do this weekend. I got to figure out what the hell is going to happen with this channel, but we're living in a banana republic now, so yay. And I tell you what, any person, and I mean this, but any person that is celebrating this, I think they are too naive to ever consider any of their opinions ever again, right? You've just proven yourself to be an idiot and to not know how anything in the world works. To be clear, I think Trump is like a kind of a savant, right? Like, genius buffoon. I'm not a super pro-Trump guy. All right. I'm amused by him. I don't think that he's Hitler. But I'm not like the biggest, like, yay, Trump. I didn't like his stupid show. I always knew he was a bit of a carny act and he was a real estate guy. I don't really hold those people in high regards, but he seemed to be a good negotiator and whatever. He didn't start any new wars, which couldn't be said for any other president in my lifetime. So, that's kind of a good thing. But I see this for what it is. This is the end of the country. This is not a good thing. And anybody popping champagne and all these people, this is the phrase that you're going to hear. And you can go check on Twitter, check your senator or your congressperson, see if they say that no one is above the law. Okay? If they use that line of BS, retribution will come to them, because I think just about, I will say 90% of politicians, if you really did some digging, they'd all go to prison. So I say, hey, let's start digging, right? Anyway, this is the only story that I have today. It was such a big thing that I didn't even bother with any other stories. I just wanted to talk about this one story, and I got to find out what was happening, because I just came back. I taught 2 fitness classes this morning, so I haven't even checked out everything else that's happening in the world. But if you have made it this far, do me a favor, hit that like button. One day I'll get 50 likes, perhaps. And I will be back. I got to figure out what my schedule is. I got to figure out if I'm going to start streaming at night. I got a lot to think about this weekend, but I'll definitely be back on Monday. Noon on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. And I got to think if I'm going to start doing some nighttime streams too. But honestly, this changes everything for this channel. What happened changes everything. And I don't think I'm overselling that. I think that that's how big this is. This is something I talked about years ago on this channel, that we have this tradition. We don't do this. And now we did it. And now, genie's out of the bottle. Toothpaste is out of the tube. There's no going back from this. So I wish I had something more positive to say. But it's a beautiful day here in Portland. I think I might go for a hike. I hope you can go out and do something awesome this weekend. But I'll be back Monday. Until then, peace.